History's deadliest war didn't begin with an attack. It began with hesitation. How did the world see a crisis forming, piece by piece, right before their eyes, and still fail to stop it? It is a story of caution, miscalculation, and the desperate hope that tragedy could be avoided at any cost. The shadows of aggression did not appear overnight. They gathered slowly, deliberately over 2 decades. To understand the failure, we must first look back to the moment the previous war ended, leaving behind a fragile, broken peace. The treaties that followed the Great War were intended to secure stability, but instead they sowed seeds of bitterness, economic ruin, and instability, especially through crippling reparations. Ruined cities were slowly rebuilt, but the streets were empty, haunted by the specter of debt and a deep sense of national humiliation. The economic instability was a global contagion. As the 1920s turned into the 1930s, that lingering hardship began to feed a new and dangerous political energy. Economic despair fueled political extremism. Across Europe, new leadership movements, promising radical change and national redemption, were gaining unstoppable influence. With this new confidence came open defiance of the treaties. Factories roared back to life, and the focus shifted from recovery to aggressive rebuilding. The message was clear. A powerful new ideology was on the rise, willing to violate international norms to achieve its expansionist goals. Yet, the world hesitated. How did the great powers react to these clear warning signs? Not with force, but with a deep, paralyzing caution. For Britain and France, the memory of the last great conflict was too recent, too devastating. Every decision was filtered through the fear of launching another war. This intense reluctance led to the formation of a core strategy: diplomacy over conflict, negotiation over resistance. This approach earned a defining name: appeasement. It was a gamble of extraordinary proportions. Appeasement was the attempt to satisfy reasonable grievances through negotiation and compromise, believing that aggressors could be placated and peace preserved. The Munich Agreement, signed in 1938, was widely hailed as the high point of this policy. Leaders returned home, claiming they had secured peace in our time. For a brief, desperate period, the public believed it. They thought the worst had been averted, but the strategy was built on a fundamental, fatal misjudgment of intention. The expansion did not stop. It only accelerated. The moment of compromise was treated not as a solution, but as proof of weakness. Despite every agreement, every handshake, aggression continued. Each violation was a painful realization. The strategy of appeasement was not working. The final test came with the movement into Poland. This aggressive action finally forced the global powers to abandon caution. Diplomacy utterly collapsed. The window for strategic action had closed. The great powers were finally forced to draw a line, but they had waited too long.